Embarking on a journey through the velvety shadows of All About Eve, we find ourselves in the company of George Sanders, whose portrayal of Addison DeWitt is less a mere performance and more a masterclass in the art of cinematic sorcery. Sanders, with a voice smoother than a well-aged scotch and a demeanor cooler than the other side of the pillow, crafts a character so deliciously wicked you'd half expect him to offer you an apple in the intermission. In the grand tapestry of film, where heroes brandish their swords of virtue, George Sanders saunters in, armed only with a quip and a smirk, turning All About Eve into his personal chessboard. Addison DeWitt is not just a character, he's an experience, wrapped in the finest silk of cynicism, with a heart that beats in iambic pentameter of wit. Sanders delivers each line not merely as dialogue, but as if he's letting you in on the world's most sophisticated joke, to which only he knows the punchline. What is it about Sanders's DeWitt that makes us admire him, even as he orchestrates the downfall of others with the precision of a maestro? Perhaps it's his unabashed honesty, cloaked in eloquence, that disarms us. In a world of pretenders, Addison DeWitt stands as a beacon of brutal truth, albeit delivered with a side of smugness. Sanders makes us complicit in his schemes, inviting us to look beyond the curtain, and we follow, enchanted by his verbal ballet. Sanders, through DeWitt, shows us that there's something irresistibly appealing about the dark side, especially when it wears a suit as well as Sanders does. He's not just playing a role, he's redefining it, turning the villain into the most charismatic figure on screen. It's a testament to Sanders's genius that he makes us forget that we're supposed to root against his character. Instead, we find ourselves eagerly awaiting his next move, his next line, his next masterstroke of wit. When Sanders ascended the stage to accept his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, it was more than just a win for a role well played. It was a victory for the art of being unapologetically, irresistibly bad. His acceptance speech, delivered with the same effortless elegance that characterized his portrayal of DeWitt, was a wink to the audience, a reminder that behind the villainy was an actor who relished every moment of his craft. As we draw the curtain on All About Eve, we find ourselves not at an end but at a beginning. George Sanders's performance as Addison DeWitt is but a single chapter in the anthology of his career. With a legacy that stretches beyond the confines of a single film, Sanders invites us to delve deeper into his repertoire, each role a new verse in the poetry of his craft. In the wings, other characters await their turn in the spotlight, each bearing the unmistakable mark of Sanders's genius. From the conniving to the charming, the dastardly to the dignified, George Sanders's filmography is a treasure trove of cinematic jewels waiting to be rediscovered. As we prepare to turn the page, one can't help but wonder, what other secrets does Sanders's filmography hold? What other performances await to captivate and enchant us, much like Addison DeWitt did? The story continues, and the next chapter promises even more intrigue, more wit, and, undoubtedly, more George Sanders. Venturing further into the labyrinth of George Sanders's career, we uncover roles that span the spectrum from the dastardly to the debonair, each performance a testament to his unparalleled versatility and charm. Yet, Sanders's journey through Hollywood's golden age was not just a series of character studies. It was a reflection of the man himself, a complex figure who navigated fame with the same eloquence and wit that he brought to his roles. Before there was James Bond, there was Simon Templar, and George Sanders was the embodiment of Leslie Charteris's The Saint in a series of films during the late 1930s and early 1940s. As Templar, Sanders was suave, sophisticated, and always a step ahead of his adversaries, setting the standard for the gentleman thief. Not content with conquering just one literary hero, Sanders also donned the mantle of the Falcon, a character similar to the Saint, which allowed him to further showcase his knack for combining charm with a hint of danger. Alfred Hitchcock recognized Sanders's talent for portraying complex antagonists, casting him in Rebecca, 1940, and Foreign Correspondent, 1940. In Rebecca, Sanders's role as Jack Fable, the scheming cousin, highlighted his ability to infuse villainy with a layer of charm, making the character fascinatingly watchable. Foreign Correspondent saw him in a more subdued villainous role, but his performance added a necessary edge to the espionage thriller, proving that Sanders could steal scenes without so much as a raised eyebrow. Not all of Sanders's characters were cloaked in shadows. In A Ghost in Monte Carlo, he showcased his ability to portray vulnerability and depth, offering a glimpse into the range of his acting prowess. This film, among others, demonstrated that Sanders was not merely the quintessential cad, but a versatile actor capable of evoking a spectrum of emotions from his audience. George Sanders's off-screen life was as colorful and complex as his on-screen personas. Known for his sharp wit and often biting remarks, Sanders navigated Hollywood society with an air of detachment that belied his keen observations on fame and human nature. His autobiography, Memoirs of a Professional Cad, offers a candid, if not entirely self-deprecating look at his life, loves, and the industry that made him a star. In revisiting the legacy of George Sanders, we find not just an actor but a symbol of a bygone era of Hollywood, when charisma and character were king. Sanders's career is a reminder of the power of performance, the art of the anti-hero, and the timeless appeal of the man who could play any role, except, perhaps, that of the uninteresting. As we close this chapter on George Sanders, the invitation remains to explore further, to watch his films with a new appreciation for the artistry he brought to each role. His work continues to inspire actors and entertain audiences, a lasting tribute to one of cinema's most unforgettable figures. The story of George Sanders is far from over. It lives on every time the lights dim, the projector whirls to life, and we find ourselves once again captivated by that unmistakable voice, that undeniable presence that is Sanders. So, what will it be next? Shall we delve into another of his iconic roles or perhaps explore the impact of his legacy on modern cinema? The stage is set and the screen awaits. Please like and join our community.